Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome back to the next edition of
Monday.
Night Live.
Woohoo.
Booyah.
Welcome back. We took last week off.
We did take last week
Was
off
it Valentine's Day?
for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We had some little plans we had to attend to.
Spend some time with our loved ones.
Yeah, namely, Neisha loves it.
We had dinner with our parents too. It was fun.
We had a good night.
We had venison.
It
was delicious.
Very tasty. And a ribeye.
Pedro cooked it.
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah, so we've got 400 folks watching right now. That's a great start. You know your mama always forgets this, so just share this video. There should be a button or a little arrow like that. That means share. You can click it and then share it to your social media, or you can send an email or a text message to your mama so she doesn't forget to catch us live. Hey, Natalie Stone. Hey, Wendy, Sylvia, Anthony, Trey,
Sherry,
Dina, Tom, Stacy.
Wow.
Melanie.
If we just went through all the names of every single person.
I'm so glad you guys could join us. We're going to try to answer as many questions as we can. There's so many people out there who are hungry for knowledge about a proper human diet, what they should eat, what they should avoid. And that's what we're going to try to talk about this evening.
We saw some of you this past weekend in Atlanta.
Yes.
We were at the Adapt Your Life event hosted by Dr. Westman and his group. So if we got to see you, it was lovely to meet you all. And thank you so much for coming out.
Yep. Adapt Your Life Academy, I think, is the name of their group. And they go around the country and they have smaller meetups. And they have like the regional guys, regional doctors who do keto or carnivore. And they just give presentations and answer questions. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, and they offer, I think, a class at the end also.
Neisha spoke. She did an amazing job. I was so entranced and enthralled that I forgot to get any video or pictures of her speaking. Yeah. But their videos and pictures do exist, but not taken by me. And I am very apologetic for that lapse in my spousal judgment.
He's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Before we get into this, keep in mind, this is not medical advice.
That's right.
He is a doctor. I'm a nurse, but this is not medical advice. And
That's
also,
right.
We try to get to every question, but it is literally impossible. Currently, there are 1,400 people watching, but we answer as many as we can, as fast as we can, as thoroughly as we can.
Do you have a new video up on your YouTube channel?
I do, and I'm currently in the middle of recording another What I Eat in a Day vlog, which features Dr. Barry's food as well. If you're interested in that, you can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Neisha loves it. I'm almost at 100K, so every subscription is appreciated.
Yes. And some people are like, oh, Dr. Barry's full of crap. He doesn't eat all meat. You just go watch Neisha's channel, and you'll know exactly what I eat.
It's me.
Somebody asked me about Detox Tea and what I thought of it. I think it's a complete and utter waste of money. Now, if you like the taste of it, drink it. It's fine. Make sure it's 0 carb, sugar free. You can drink a cup every day. Is it going to help detox any organ of your body? No, that's hooey. But if you like it, I think it's fine if it's, 0 carb.
All right. For some reason, I can't see, or I think I'm going to have to refresh it. But first, let's get Sam's question.
Sam's geckos.
Dr. Barry, when I drink Relight, I get a popping cracking in my chest when I breathe in. Do you know why? That is very odd.
That's very odd. Is it like the snap, crackle, pop that Rice Krispies makes? If so, and is it when you inhale and take a big, deep breath? If so, it may be atelectasis, which would be very odd. Definitely not caused by the electrolytes in your drink. If you're having what I just described, you need to go see your doctor and tell them that so that they can at least shoot a chest x-ray, if not more thoroughly investigate that, because that shouldn't be happening. Many people, as they get older, when they first wake up in the morning, they stand up and they take a deep breath. They'll feel some little snap, crackle, pops. That's not that big of a deal, but if that's happening during the day, Sam's geckos, and tell your geckos we said hi, then see your doctor.
Rimily, do we need supplements if we're carnivore and don't want to eat organ meat?
Perhaps vitamin D, iodine, some omega-3 fatty acids, and not as a supplement, but just you've got to eat some seafood. You got to get some seafood in your carnivore diet. You can get some omega-3 fatty acids from egg yolks and other sources of fat. But most of us need to have some omega-3 fatty acid rich seafood 2 or 3 times a month to make sure you're getting plenty of those.
Flying Pig Forge. Does a cheat day a couple times a month help with my insulin sensitivity?
It probably hurts your insulin sensitivity. It's in no way is it going to help your insulin sensitivity. You may be trying to ask us about metabolic flexibility.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't help with that either. The human body, the human physiology is designed to instantaneously start to burn sugar when you eat it. It never forgets how to do that, okay? Because it has to be ready in the fall of every year, the way we developed, so that when the fruit is ripe, it can break that down with all the sugar and fructose and put as much fat on your body as possible for the winter so you don't starve to death. So your body never forgets how to do that. But going back to being in ketosis, sometimes for some people that happens immediately. For other people, it takes a few days or a few weeks.
Stephanie White Bread. Worried about thyroid. Doc says it's fine. And T4 is 0.09. T3 is 99. TSH is 1.84.
It depends on your symptoms. Your numbers sound okay. But if you're having multiple symptoms of low thyroid, then you need to find a doctor who doesn't just blindly go by your lab results. Barry Baker says recipe for sardines. I get sardines in water with the bones in and the skin on. I take the lid off. I put as much zero carb mustard as I can on top, and then I dig in with a fork, usually outside so that Neisha doesn't have to smell it.
Yeah. Tia, have you had success stories of issues with conceiving and then it happening on a carnivore diet? I've been struggling for a year after having miscarriage. We hear this a lot.
All the time.
Women who have struggled with infertility, whether it's from thyroid, from PCOS, unknown infertility, going carnivore, and having a successful pregnancy.
Absolutely. Multiple fertility specialist doctors are starting to recommend keto, ketovore, carnivore to their patients because it increases their rate of conception. And all fertility doctors want all their patients to get pregnant. And so they're going to put them all on the diet that's going to increase the chances of that. I wanted to say hello to Paola, to Kevin, and to Mitzi, our moderators. They have a little blue wrench beside their name, and they're going to be watching for any of you guys misbehaving. They'll block your ass. So keep it real. But also newcomer questions, beginner questions, they will answer you in the comments because we're unable to answer all the questions.
Just so you know, Dr. Kiltz, Kiltz, is a fantastic fertility specialist. I think he has a YouTube channel, but he's for sure on Facebook, and he promotes meat-based for his clients.
Yep. Tom just discovered your YouTube channel, and he's loving it.
Hey, Tom.
It's Neisha Loves It, guys. Go subscribe. Let's get her over 100K. She deserves it.
I am 400 away.
Just
400.
Putting up with my crap. She deserves it.
Hey, Tia, thank you so much. Hey, yeah, shout out to Granny Berry watching in Alabama.
Hey, Granny, how you doing? Beckett ought to be home towards the end of the hour.
Hopefully.
So stick around and you can see. I got to quit calling him Baby Beckett. He's definitely not a baby
anymore.
Beckett boy. I'm going to call him Beckett boy. He'll be here. Hopefully he'll come say hi.
Little B. El May wants to know, what are your thoughts on stevia?
Stevia works great for most people. It's much less bad than sugar. But even for some of us, we're so metabolically unwell or so insulin resistant that even stevia will slow down our weight loss. If you're using stevia right now and you're doing great, keep doing it. If you have stalled on your weight loss, it might be the non-nutritive sweeteners. How do you like my shirt?
I love your shirt. Did you see when you talked about Beckett coming home? Toto went.
Oh, he thought he was coming?
He was coming home.
I love it.
Toto.
Let me get one. Annette says, I have uncontrolled hypertension. Which one of the diets will be best for me? Annette, keto, ketovore, carnivore, whichever one sounds best to you. If you've got to have some veg in your diet, then keto. If you could care less if you ever see another vegetable, carnivore. Okay. Either one of these is going to lower your inflammation and lower your insulin levels, allow you to urinate away the unhealthy fluid that you're holding, and it's going to lower your blood pressure. Maybe all the way back down to normal, but it's definitely going to lower it at least to some extent.
Literally looking out the window for his boy to come.
I'm sorry, Toto. False alarm.
John Brown, any thoughts on NMN?
NMN.
What is that?
Well, that could stand for 3 different things that I can think of, John. Type it out for me. Let me see what his thing looks like. We'll be watching for it in the comments. Thanks for the super chat. NMN.
NMN.
Thanks for
Alex,
the super chat,
is saturated
Roberto.
fat going to give me a heart attack, or is it only that causes sticky plaque?
So saturated fat has never been shown in any research ever done to cause heart attack, stroke, artery blockage, any of that. If you'll go to the American Heart Association's website, they used to talk about saturated fat all the time. They demonized it. They had a limit to how much saturated fat you should eat a day, a limit to how much cholesterol you should eat a day. If you go and search their website now, you won't find any recommendations about that. And that's because the keto people and the carnivore people have made such a stink that the research does not support their conclusion that they have removed all that from the American Heart Association's website. Now, they'll still tell you to eat a low-fat diet, but they won't talk about saturated fat and cholesterol anymore in your diet because they know that the research is very clear. It does not increase your risk of a heart attack or a coronary artery blockage.
Uncle Guns, welcome back. Checking in, been super busy. Triple BE down 46 pounds since October.
Triple B and E stands for beef, butter, bacon, eggs. That's all Uncle Guns eats. And he eats as much as he wants. He eats as many times a day as he wants. If he's still hungry, he eats some more beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So.
Cheat days give me bursitis heel symptoms. So he is sticking to his guns. Uncle Guns.
He's one of those people that needs to eat meat and eggs
He's gonna
for his best health.
Triple B.
Love it.
Tom says, thank you both for saving my life. Started at 373 pounds, and now I'm at 242.
Thumbs up for Tom.
A1C was 11.4. Now it's 5.0.
What now?
And triglycerides were off the charts, now right in the middle of the green zone. God bless you both. God bless you, Tom. Way to go. Well done saving your own life. Okay?
It's almost like bacon is a superfood. Well done.
Do you have a video called Bacon is a Superfood?
I should.
That's a clicky video.
Philip Deform says, will keto help my hidradenitis suppurativa? I actually have a YouTube video about that. I lost your comment. Philip, yeah, absolutely. Hidradenitis suppurativa, HS, is intimately connected to hyperinsulinemia. And when you eat a diet that allows your insulin to return to normal, your HS is going to get 80, 90, 95, 99% better. In some people, it virtually goes away. Now, if you add back in the junk food that you're currently eating, it'll come back. So don't do that and that's evidence that you're poisoning your body. So if I were you, I'd go 90 days carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And after that, then you can decide, do I want to stay carnivore or do I want to add back in some good, healthy, low-carb veg?
Roberta, thank you so much. Julie wants to know, how does keto affect those who are using SSRIs?
It benefits them in hundreds of different ways. It doesn't interact in any way with the SSRI. But now I'll tell you, the SSRI will slow down your weight loss. And there is some limited research to show that it can actually make insulin resistance or hyperinsulinemia worse. So, and then also many people, when they start eating a proper human diet, their depression or anxiety or OCD symptoms get so much better that they can decrease the dosage of their SSRI or even stop it. So keep that in mind.
Kevin, thank you so much. Jack says protein bars, ?
If by protein bar you take a ribeye and you cut it up into strips and put it into a Ziploc bag and take with you, then I am 100% for those protein bars.
Protein bars are, the best protein bar is a meat bar.
100%.
Bar of meat, not any accessories or additives, flavors, packaging that has a guy climbing a mountain on it. None of that.
99% of the protein bars you buy at the store, if you actually look at the total carbs versus the total protein, they really should be, for advertising honesty, should be called a carbohydrate bar because they have more total carbs than they have protein. Now, how are you going to call that a protein bar?
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing. It's BS.
Save your money for the real stuff.
Yes. Eat real meat.
Hey, Kim Sutton, welcome back, sister. Still getting pain in my knee from my arthritis. I only do keto chow minerals, no dairy, only meat, unsweetened tea, water, or sparkling soda. anything I can add to help erase this arthritis?
If you haven't already done so, Kim, go see your doctor. Okay. Sometimes there's been enough damage done over the decades of eating a bad diet, or maybe you had some trauma earlier in life that you really damaged the cartilage or the tendons. You may have a condition that's not just solely caused by inflammation. If so, you need to see your doctor, because it sounds like you're doing everything proper with your diet.
Also, if you haven't already, take a look at your sauces and spices. Could be something in them triggering you. Some people with severe arthritis have to even cut out the sauces and the spices and just do salt.
Yep. Kim, you might try 90 days of what's called the lion diet, which is ruminant meat only, salt and water. So beef, sheep, goat, venison, elk, caribou, water, and salt. Nothing, no spices, and see if that helps your arthritis. But probably it's time to go see the doctor at this point.
Tech Mansour Tech. Dr. Berry, how would you attack a stall in 2022 as a carnivore? I've already lost 130 pounds a year and a half ago, but I have 50 more to go. I've been stalled for 4 months.
Yep. It's probably time to go see your doctor, get your hormones checked. It's also probably time to increase the amount of hours that you fast each day. So if you're eating during currently a 10-hour window and fasting for a 14-hour window, bump that fasting window up to 16 or 18 hours. Okay. Shadow 20,108 says, does Ambien zolpidem slow down weight loss? 100%. Yes, it's also very habit forming. It was never intended to be taken long term every single night like many doctors prescribe it. In my opinion, that is malpractice. If you have been taking it every single night, this goes for Lunesta, it goes for all of them. Zolpidem is not quite as bad, but Ambien, oh my God, yeah, it's very, very habit forming. It can actually permanently alter your sleep architecture if you take it long term. So if you've been on that long term, talk to your doctor and say, why the hell have you been giving this to me long term? Is it approved for that, or is it just for short term use only? You're the doctor. You're supposed to be in charge of that.
TikToker, do I need organic grass-fed meats on Carnivore?
No, you don't. They are slightly better when it comes to omega-3 to omega-6 ratios. They also, grass-fed, grass-finished meat has more phytonutrients in the meat. And some of you are going, wait, did he just say there's phytonutrients in the meat? Yeah. Even the grain-finished cattle have phytonutrients like polyphenols and carotenoids in the meat. But if they're grass-finished, so they only ate grass, they actually have even more phytonutrients, but they definitely have a better omega-6 to omega-3 ratio.
John Brown says that the NMN stands for nicotinamide mononucleotide.
Yeah, I was hoping that's not what. Yeah, so John, that's a complete and utter waste of money. You're going to get everything you need from meat and eggs. You don't need to be taking any kind of supplements like that. There's no evidence to show that that's causing you any net benefit yet. There's some research that suggests it might help, but there's no definitive research showing that it absolutely is worth the money.
Charles, welcome back. Got some low levels in my blood work. Red blood cells 4.3, hematocrit at 39.3. Dark said, I'm okay that those numbers don't matter because my hemoglobin is 13.7. Should I work to get these numbers higher, and how?
Charles, I wouldn't worry so much about getting the numbers higher. I would want to know why they're so low. Has your doctor completely investigated you for occult blood loss from your bladder, from your prostate, from your colon? That needs to be investigated. Also, is your bone marrow making adequate amounts of red blood cell? Also, is your spleen chewing up red blood cells that were improperly formed? All those things need to be answered. And then also there's some more lab work that needs to be checked.
Joe Belcher, thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Sherry, saw a video, put the link in your last video. He said that too much salt can make the body make fructose. Is this true?
I currently am completely unaware of any physiological pathway where if you salt your food to taste, so I'm not talking about going to a salt eating competition and eating 5 pounds of salt. I'm talking about salting your food to taste. I've never seen any research or any physiological pathway that could increase the amount of fructose that your body makes, but I'll look into that a little further.
Alex, hey Alex, total bilirubin is 1.8, direct is 0.33. Should I be concerned?
Probably not. If just your total bilis high and nothing else, you may have something called Gilbert's or Gilbert's syndrome. It's not a big deal at all. Follow up with your doctor on that.
Julio. I was going to say Julio.
Julio.
Hey, Julio. Tips for power lifters, weightlifters, for example, the amount of calories, and do different types of meat matter, or is red meat the king?
Julio, eat meat and eggs until you are comfortably stuffed, and then go lift as heavy as you can. That's how muscle is made. If you looked at any of the power lifters or bodybuilders back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 70, 80, 90% of their food was meat and eggs. That's what they ate. They also injected steroids, right? And so that's how they got that huge. If they said they didn't, come on. Yeah. Also, humans don't go like that without artificial means.
We're not the experts on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would recommend you go follow Robert, the Keto Savage. He has a YouTube channel. He also has a podcast. He also has a book you can buy. He is full-blown keto and doesn't do any carb ups or anything, and he is ripped. So
Denise, if your vertigo is coming from Meniere's disease, then keto or carnivore can absolutely decrease your symptoms. And then Kalima, can diabetics do the fasting as well? 100% yes, Kalima. Now, if you're a type 1 diabetic, you're going to implement low carb and intermittent fasting slowly with the help of your doctor, because you're going to have to lower your insulin intake very rapidly, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. If you're a type 2 diabetic, Kalima, 100%, you will reverse your type 2 diabetes with keto and intermittent fasting, 100%.
Lobby, how much does sugar substitutions like erythritol have on causing a gout flare? Any significant changes in recommending how to treat gout since your last video? Yeah,
there might be a link for some people between sugar substitutes and gout flare-ups. There is a possible mechanism for that. At Low Carb Boca Raton, we had a great speaker who his topic was gout, and he actually touched on that. If you're keto, ketovore, carnivore, and you're still having gout flares, my next step would be to get rid of the artificial sweeteners for 90 days. I think that's a very wise thing to do.
Did you see that the video specifically was talking about people eating carbs with salt?
Oh, well, you're probably getting some fructose from the carbs. Just stop eating the carbs and keep eating the salt. And
we'll still look into
problem
it.
Solve. Yeah, but Denise says, how do you feel about taking nutritional yeast tablets? Denise, I feel like that's a complete waste of your money. You don't need that. You're going to get all the nutrition that you might be getting from nutritional yeast. You're going to get it from meat and eggs. Okay.
Ed, is a high A1C 5.7 always due to prediabetes, or can someone get that value with a temporary bad diet?
Well, yes. Yes. And so anytime your A1C goes above 5.6, then you have crossed the threshold and you've moved into prediabetes land. And that could be from a temporary bad diet. That's what, now, so your question reveals to me that you don't understand that type 2 diabetes is 100% caused by a bad diet. There is no other cause of it. And that's why so many hundreds of thousands of people have watched my YouTube videos and Neisha's YouTube videos over on Neisha Loves It. And they just reverse their type 2 diabetes. It goes away because it's basically carbohydrate toxicity syndrome. When you cut the carbs low enough, your A1C goes back to normal. VM, can this lifestyle help with tinnitus? Actually, I've got a YouTube video about tinnitus, highly linked to hyperinsulinemia. It's going to get much, much better. It may not go completely away. All of us over the age of 50 have a little bit of tinnitus. That's pretty much normal, but it's not going to be that severe tinnitus that makes you want to pull your hair out or slap your neighbor.
Solo, type 2 here, stopped metformin and started carnivore with exercise in August of 21. A1C that time was 10, over 10. By February of 22, I've lost 34 pounds and my A1C is down to 8.1. My doctor says Jardiance will help get me the rest of the way. What are your thoughts, Dr. Berry?
Your doctor is just wanting to give you a prescription.
Well, he wants to take credit.
He wants a little credit, yeah. Just keep doing what you're doing, Solo One, and within 3 to 6 months, your A1C is going to be normal. You don't need the Jardiance.
It's going down.
Yeah, it's going down. Yeah, keep doing exactly what you're doing.
J. Bibb, I've been diagnosed with diverticulitis. I've had 4 bouts in the last 8 months. Are there any additional concerns for me with the carnivore diet?
Oh, 100% no. And so I saw your other question, JBIB. I was about to answer that. Carnivore diet is going to pretty much give you complete resolution of diverticulitis flare-ups. You might have an occasional mild flare-up on carnivore, but you're never going to have the severe, long-lasting flare-ups that you used to have. Diverticulitis is caused by too many carbs, too many inflammatory foods, too much fiber in your diet. Fiber is not a health food. I know you may hear that from a lot of other places, but for some of us, we need to avoid virtually all fiber. So because our colons do not like fiber and it causes our colons to flare up.
Sam's back. Will keto be enough to reverse preeclampsia? Well, that depends on what stage the preeclampsia is in. Is it just having high blood pressure with some headaches? Then maybe it could reverse it and take the blood pressure down and keep the woman from getting extremely sick. However, if the preeclampsia, you're in the hospital on a mag drip, then no. You definitely need medications, observations.
It's still going to help, but you still need to do what your doctor says.
It's not going to hurt anything to start keto at that point, but you definitely need to follow medical direction.
And then in the same respect, gestational diabetes will just not happen if you're keto when you get pregnant. Or if you are currently pregnant and have gestational diabetes, you go keto, the gestational diabetes will disappear. And your doctors will be amazed at how you did that.
Amazed. John, thank you so much. The poop subject has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's talk about poop.
His Way Homestead wants to know, how often do you poop on carnivore? It's kind of freaking me out. It's been 3 to 4 days between trips to the toilet.
Yeah. So when you're eating a carnivore diet, what you're eating is 100% pure nutrition. Your body absorbs every single bit of it. And so you don't poop nearly as much. Now, me personally, I poop once a day. It's a small poop. It's not a big deal. It takes 5 minutes. But me, I used to back when I was eating paleo with all the quinoa and the vegetable and all that stuff, I was pooping 3 ginormous poops a day and just would stink up the whole house. And now Neisha doesn't even know I'm in the bathroom unless she walks in on me during my little 5-minute trip like she did the other day.
I was trying to pack, okay?
She was just singing and bouncing. She was like, "Oh, sorry."
We're married,
Yeah, we're married, but we try to respect each other's poop
we
privacy.
Have boundaries.
Yeah, poop privacy.
Firm poop boundaries. Yeah. Cindy Green, thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah, who all's noticed the change in your poop on Ketovore or Carnivore? Put your experience in the comments, because so many people think that their colon's gonna die or their colon's gonna blow up. How are you going to poop without fiber? Carnivores poop just fine. We actually have far fewer symptoms. You're seeing the comments now. The smell's less. I poop less often. I don't have cramps. I don't have any of these things. Joseph noticed less poop. Yeah, I mean, who wants to poop all the time? I got shit to do. I can't be pooping all the time.
I love how you threw that in there. Okay, Mohammed, hey, what's up, man? Dr. Berry, what causes calcium deposits in coronary arteries and how do you treat it?
Yeah, so the calcium deposits is your body's way of trying to fix it. And the soft plaques, which are cholesterol deposits, your body's basically trying to fix the damage that was done to those arteries by the inflammatory high carbohydrate diet that you were eating previously. Now, also smoking. Also alcohol, also lots of other things, smoking crack, smoking meth, all these things are going to cause damage to your coronary arteries. Then your body's going to try to initially fix that damage with cholesterol, and ultimately he'll put down calcium to stabilize it. Eating fat and protein doesn't cause plaquing, doesn't cause inflammation in your arteries. Nancy says, I poop very little, no stink.
RW, have you looked into Air Protein yet? Can you do a video on the company and a product? I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Air Protein.
I've never heard of that. Is it a protein shake? If so, I can already tell you what I think about it. I think it's a waste of your money. You should get protein from meat and eggs. Air Protein. I've never heard of it.
Air Protein is meat made from air.
Is it like the lab-made meat? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or is it wish meat?
It says we have reimagined fermentation, turning elements in the air into sustainable protein that eliminates compromise between taste, nutrition, and climate threat.
Yeah. So cows
PRs
are not causing a climate problem. Humans are causing any climate problems.
Air meat is crafted through a process similar to how beer and yogurt are made and can be produced exponentially faster than traditional meat production. Explore how we turn air into the future of meat.
So do you imagine
we're going to dig into this?
This is probably done out on a bucolic, verdant hillside.
Listen, look at all the greenwashing.
In the countryside.
Okay, do you see this? Look at all the greenwashing.
Yeah.
There's waterfalls.
They make it right there in that forest. That's where they make the air meat. No, they make it in a factory.
Look at the flower.
Okay, it's going to be a factory with lots of hazardous chemical warnings. You can't make meat in a factory, okay, that's ever going to replicate the nutrition, the taste, and the texture of real meat. Plus, cows are not destroying the environment. It's cars, planes, and chemical exhaust and hospital waste. That's what's destroying the environment.
This is good stuff. I'm gonna dig into this.
You gonna dig into that? Yeah.
Thank you, RW.
Open the can. Thank you.
Danny, what's your take on a few grams of trans fat being listed in grass-fed beef burgers? How come? And did the cow eat margarine?
No,
should we be concerned about
there is a little bit of trans fat in all meat. In all eggs, they have a little bit of trans fat. That tiny amount is very natural. It's been there for 3 million years. It's not going to hurt you at all. It was the high amount of trans fats that were being made in chemical factories that we were eating probably 200 or 300 times the amount. Wait, I got a question.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It was a good one too.
Sorry. Was it about prostate?
Yes, it was. Yeah, you saw it? Yeah. Okay. Somebody said, well, eating all that red meat make your prostate enlarge. Actually, what most carnivores find if they went into this having existing BPH or prostatitis is that their prostate symptoms diminish by, on average, 80 to 95%.
Kevin R., I'm a medically retired vet with degenerative disc disease in my neck. Started carnivore a month ago. Will it help for me to see a chiropractor every week? Maybe, depending.
Ask the chiropractor. An honest chiropractor will tell you if they can help you or not. If no matter what your question is, they say, yes, I can help you, then you may want to worry about that. But for necks and backs, I'm a fan of chiropractors in some cases. But when they start straying off into other areas, then I quickly stop being a fan.
I see a chiropractor every few weeks.
Here's a question for you, Neisha. Gas, Outdoor, and Fishing says, what fruits can be eaten on a carnivore diet?
Fruits are not meat.
Okay,
well, listen.
No. If you find a fruit that has 4 legs and fur, that's the fruit.
Did it have a mama? It's not carnivore. Listen, I know that there is a lot of carnivore diets out there at this point that are not listen, it just keeps getting more complicated. Don't complicate it. Meat.
Yeah. So
eggs.
If you want to eat lots of meat and some fruit, that's called paleo diet. That's what that is. That's old news. And it helps some people. For some people, it's not low carb enough.
Hyper carnivore, which doesn't make any sense because hyper carnivore, if you use words properly, would mean really super carnivore.
In paleoanthropology,
I know that's a real term.
The term hyper carnivore is a real term.
It's a real term.
Yeah,
if you were a person who didn't know that was a real term, would you think hyper carnivore meant
it sounds like, you're 110% carnivore.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So like a lay person wouldn't know that is a technical term from actual whatever.
I do. Shara, we're doing great tonight. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
I get really worked up about that. Words mean things, you know?
Words mean things, absolutely. So, if you want to add some fruit and some honey to your meat, then that's called a paleo diet. And we've been talking about that for 20 years. Kevin says, how long can you stay on this diet? Kevin, as long as you are a human being, you can eat a proper human diet. As long as you're Homo sapiens sapien, you can eat lots of meat and eggs and a little bit of veg. That's it. That's keto. Or you can eat all meat and eggs and just a tiny bit of veg. That's ketovore. Or you can eat all meat and eggs and no veg, and that's carnivore. You can do that for the rest of your life if what you'd like to do is optimize your health.
I'm going to stop using any diet terminology whatsoever, and I'm going to be like, if you want to eat meat, and eggs, there's no word for that anymore. It's just all. What is it he says, Matthew McConaughey? It's foodagoozle. It's forgozzle.
Frank says, Dr. Berry, how many grams of protein per day? Frank, what you're going to do is you're going to eat as much fatty meat as you can eat in 1 or 2 or 3 meals a day until you're comfortably stuffed. Then you're going to stop eating fatty meat. And that's going to give you enough protein. Now, if you need a number, at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's the minimum. You probably need more than that. But what you'll find is if you eat fatty meat until you're full, you'll get enough protein.
Okay, Kira says, been carnivore 11 months, been feeling lightheaded, tingly, and my muscles have been tight. Nothing has changed with electrolytes or anything like that.
It's time to go see your doctor. That may be something going on, and it's most assuredly not related to your diet. Beto has a question. Bananas, unripe, is that keto? So unripe bananas are less. They are lower in carbs because all the starch
green.
And the cellulose hasn't broken down yet. But they're still not keto.
Also,
same goes
they
for
are
plantains.
not tasty.
Yeah, I mean, why would you eat a green banana? Don't do that. Just eat meat and eggs. They're tasty and they're ripe.
It's getting crazy out there. Adam, hey guys, cholesterol's 250, LDL 157, HDL 59. I'm 5'9", 160, went down to 153 in 3 weeks. I feel great. Eating a ton of carbs, and I was eating a ton of carbs and processed food. I cut all of it out, and I'm feeling amazing. But how do I stop weight loss?
Yep, good question, Adam. So a lot of people think keto or carnivore are weight loss diets, and they're not. They are weight optimization diets, Adam. So when your body weight reaches your ideal body weight range, you'll stop losing weight. The keto is not going to make you keep losing weight like cancer would until you just blow away and die. It doesn't work that way. Keto is not a calorie restriction diet. It's not in any way a restrictive diet. Your body gets to decide where your set point is, and then that's where your weight will go.
Justin, any tips on the meat smell? Love the smell, but still would love to hear your thoughts. By the way, I've lost 20 pounds and my arthritis is almost gone. I can play my guitar again.
Yes.
Awesome, Justin. Meat smell.
You mean like the smell of meat? You don't like it? Any tips
says,
on the meat smell? Ha, ha, ha. Love the smell, but still would love to hear your thoughts.
We don't really, if your meat smells bad, it's either seafood and you don't like seafood, or it's bad.
Yeah, but meat is going to have a nice, wonderful, succulent smell. That's normal.
Well, I don't know if
I maybe didn't understand the question.
I don't know, but good job on you, man.
You're doing well, though. Keep doing what you're doing.
SJ, sometimes I just don't feel like eating beef. I know. I have a ranch. It happens, though. Is it okay to only eat eggs for that day or a day or two? And how many is too many?
Don't eat more than 2 dozen eggs a day. I just made that up. There is no upper limit. If you want to eat 3 dozen eggs a day and you're not trying to win an egg eating contest, you're truly hungry, then eat 3 dozen eggs a day. It's totally fine. Your satiety hormones will turn on when you've eaten enough fat and protein, and they will turn off your hunger, and you'll be like, whoa, I love eggs, but I'm done. That's what's going to happen. So don't any of you guys don't think you've got to count the ounces of beef you eat or the number of eggs or the pounds of broccoli. You don't have to do any of that on this diet. You just eat until you're comfortably stuffed.
Sheila says, what tips for blends if you are taking your 5-year-old keto for autism and they are tube fed?
You can use Professor Ben Bickman's HLTH, health code shakes. You can use Keto Chow shakes. You get to pick what liquid you make them with.
Equip
is a great shake. What you don't want to be putting in the tube is the standard junk that you can get a prescription for and that your insurance will pay for. It's sky high in carbs and it's sky high in vegetable seed oils, and you don't want that in your little one's mouth. It's going to make all the symptoms worse.
Deal Ali says, thanks to both of you for spreading information about the carnivore diet. I'm rapidly shedding my weight and have you guys to thank. God bless.
God bless. That's what I like to hear.
Charles says, any thoughts on the website Self-Decode to interpret your lab works and give you breakdowns on what all that means and how to optimize your labs?
Good question. I'll look it up. I'm not familiar with that website.
I haven't either. Let's see, we got several down here. Denise, type 2 diabetic, hypertension, hypothyroid here. Blood work shows low sodium, low chloride, and low CO2. I salt everything. What causes this? And should I be concerned? Stay blessed.
Denise, you may be on a medication that's causing you to urinate out a lot of your sodium and chloride. Make sure you're salting to taste. Many of us, when we first come to this way of eating, we're like, okay, I get it. Salt's okay. But we still limit the salt because you're like, I don't know. Is that much salt okay? If it tastes good, that's the amount of salt that you need. But I would bet money it's one of your medications that's causing these numbers to be low.
David just finished The Case for Keto by Gary Taubes. Highly recommend it to others to get into the details. I loved his interview with you in the book. Thanks for all you do. It's actually helping. Hey, David, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, David, for the super chat. And Gary Taubes' book, The Case for Keto. I'm actually in that book. There's a great story. I need to tell the story on your YouTube channel, so we can just laugh about it. If you don't follow Neisha, it's Neisha Loves It over on YouTube. Let's get her over 100K.
Subscribe to my channel.
So I had forgotten that I had a phone interview with Gary Taubes, and back then Gary Taubes was like, "Oh my God!" Now I've sat down at the bar and had a drink with him. We're buddies,
but we're still kind of like.
But I was like, and the phone rings, and it's a California number. I'm at Walmart. I hit mute because I'm like, probably a prank.
I thought we were going to tell the story.
Well, I am, and he calls right back, and I'm like, I answered. I'm in Walmart with Abby Grace Berry. We're looking at toys. I totally forgot.
Years ago.
Hello, this is Gary Taubes. I'm like, shit. So I had to go out. Yeah. So we'll tell the whole story.
So that was the whole story.
That's not the whole story.
There's
way more.
Welcome back, brother. Just how inflammatory is soy or soy products?
Very.
Can you point me into properly done studies? All I've seen are conflicting studies. Thanks.
Yeah, so you're not going to find a definitive study. Dr. Eric Westman actually touched on this at the Adapt Your Life in his talk. Basically, what happens is when a researcher finds out that, eating all these vegetables, that doesn't really do anything for you, or vegetable seed oils are quite inflammatory, or soybean has got too much phytoestrogen. At the end of their study, they'll say, this is very concerning and more research needs to be done. And then you never hear another peep out of it, because the way it's set up now, in order to get funding for research, which is very, very expensive, you're the chairman of your department, the ethical review board, and your university basically can veto you at any moment. And if they're getting millions of dollars in funding from Big Food, then you can't do that second study that definitively proves that soybean is bad for humans or that vegetable seed oils are bad for humans. The funding dries up, and you'd have to do a GoFundMe or a Give, Send, Go. Is that what it is? You'd have to do a crowdsourcing or find some angel billionaire who would give you $20 million so you could do the definitive study. And so most researchers, they've got to publish. You publish or perish. So they've got to publish so many articles a year. And so they'll just forget about it. Like, oh, crap, I don't know. That was a dead end. It looked very important to me. But I can't tell you the number of times that I've read a study and it'd be like, this is very concerning. More research needs to be done about this. And then literally there's not another peep ever about it in the literature. Very concerning.
Huawei? I'm very sorry. Low carb 1 year ago, and the lower I went, the worse my constipation got. I experienced many benefits, but I don't want to go back to the sad diet. I've tried everything. Constipation.
So what do you mean by constipation? Do you mean you weren't pooping as often? Because if so, then that's normal. That's fine. That's not constipation. But if you were having straining and pain and bleeding, that's the real definition of constipation. In that case, you need to eat more salt. get more electrolytes, specifically magnesium, and make sure that you're eating enough fat with your meat. Okay. A lot of people eat a lot of lean protein. They're still afraid of salt, and they wind up being a little constipated. So more salt, more electrolytes, more magnesium, and more fat. And that will fix that. Huawei?
Justin says, no, I mean the smell after cooking. It lingers.
Oh.
I've got the secret for that.
Okay, here we go.
Lemongrass essential oil and a diffuser cleans up any smell.
Cheryl asked, what's a good diet for beta thalassemia minor? A proper human diet. Keto, ketovore, carnivore. 100% is going to help you have your best life, even with beta thal minor.
Thank you, Rhonda. Phil, is it okay to have a cheat meal on carnivore here and there?
Yeah, birthday, anniversary, Christmas. That's
Also,
your cheat meal.
That's like asking your mom something. You know what I mean? Like, you ask your mom that question. We're not your parents. You have to make that decision on your own. Are you at maintenance? Are you a carb addict? Are you going to go off the wagon, get drugged behind it for a whole year? Like, where are you at? You got to know your triggers. Is it okay for you? We can't really tell you that. For a lot of people, they're moderators, which means they can have a cheat meal every now and then. And some people are abstainers, which means they cannot do a cheat meal because that means they go back to the old way, and weeks. All their medications they came off of and their A1C and all that work was for nothing because now they're back where they started. So you got to figure that out.
Yep. Actually, Eileen, I think a kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
It is.
Yeah, not 0.45. You did your math the wrong way. I'm guilty of the same thing. Albert asked about nut milks, like almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, God forbid.
Is that a nut milk?
Well, they like to put it in that same group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so they're very often sweetened. So if you just insist on drinking almond milk, realize that almond trees, they actually do harm the environment, unlike cows. The way that you have to farm them, the poor bees, all the water reservoirs in California being dry, in large part due to the almond forests out there, because you have to water them constantly. So nut milks, I don't think there's any ancestral evidence that we ever milked almonds or cashews. If you want to drink some kind of dairy, drink some heavy cream. I wouldn't recommend too much of that either. Milk is actually for baby mammals. It's not for adults. And I'm working on another YouTube video about that. I just found some excellent paleoanthropological research and evidence that just shoots drinking milk, even raw milk. I know. Don't get mad. None of that stuff is ancestrally appropriate for adult humans.
Philo says, is it true your body or muscles can only utilize 30 grams of protein per meal?
It's a complete and utter myth.
It's out there a lot, though.
Yeah, you hear it a lot, but it's complete bullshit. AP Joe and a bunch of numbers says, how can I naturally lower my blood pressure? Well, AP Joe, I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel about just that topic. Check it out after this live. Basically, you're going to eat very low carb, and you're not going to worry about salt. You're going to salt your food to taste, because eating salt to taste does not raise your blood pressure. But eating too many carbs, too much sugar, fruit juices, Coca-Colas, fruit smoothies, that's all going to raise your insulin, make you whole fluid, raise your blood pressure.
Tammy, can beef heart take the place of beef liver? No.
It's delicious and it's very nutritious, but no. Liver has way more vitamins and minerals in it than beef heart. But beef heart's great. I love it that you like beef heart.
It's a good stepping stone.
100%. Who all's tried beef heart? It is freaking delicious. Also, sheep heart is very, very good.
Ricky wants to know, how do you lower your set point in order to lose more?
So, Ricky, you eat a proper human diet, and then your body is going to take you to you don't have to do anything. Your body's got all this stuff when you stop poisoning it with too many carbs and too much inflammatory food. And now your body's set point may not be where you want to be, right? You may want to weigh more or less, but that's where your body wants you to be. That's where it's going to take you.
Skeeter, welcome back, man.
Hey, Skeeter.
He says, it's easy, people. Consume meat, salt, and water. I didn't exercise. I've lost over 100 pounds in a year. 6'3", started at 343, now down to 230.
Skeeter, my man. That's the way to do it
Peter
right there.
McPeter.
Teresa's having nocturnal leg cramps. Teresa, make sure you're getting plenty of magnesium and potassium and salt.
Bach, any tips for doing carnivore with pancreatic insufficiency? I've tried to stick with it for a few weeks, multiple times, but end up with lots of issues on the way out.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to take some pancreatic enzymes, and your doctor should be able to prescribe those for you.
Justin, one more question. I forgot it. I've had my thyroid removed from cancer 15 years ago and have to take levothyroxine daily. Will this way of eating have any effect on that?
By the way, I meant to smell after cooking. Okay, Justin. Yeah. So, many people with hypothyroidism notice that when they convert to a proper human diet, eventually they have to take a lower dose of the thyroid replacement hormone. Many people have noticed that. It's not going to reverse or cure your hypothyroidism, but it in many ways you just won't need as high a dose of the levothyroxine. Lux Interior says, I drink raw goat's milk that is not homogenized or pasteurized. That is probably the least bad milk that you can possibly drink. Now, less bad does not mean good, right? But that's probably the least bad.
I need you to let me from now on to the end.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you, Mike. Randy says, the book Estrogeneration by Anthony J. talks a lot about how bad soy is, along 100%. With a bunch of other stuff.
All you guys need to read Estrogeneration by Anthony J. PhD.
Fantastic book.
Excellent book.
Thomas says, I've been carnivore for 3 weeks. I'm down 25 pounds. My blood sugar went from 180 to 123 in the same time. You were one of the first YouTubers I found on this diet. Thank you, Dr. Berry.
Well done.
All right. Danny says, is there any truth to people saying protein accelerates aging by activating Mtor? Does Mtor cause rapid aging?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Professor David Sinclair. I've read all his work. We follow each other on Twitter. But I do not believe that eating meat is in any way going to make you age faster, Mtor or otherwise. And there's several different molecules that people get all hung up on, right? The vegans have a whole list of things that are in meat, like, this one, like TMAO. Oh my God. There's none of this stuff has been proven. This is all either conjecture or there's a possible association shown in observational research. It's never been proven. It's not a known fact.
Sarah wants to know, keto or carnivore for autoimmune arthritis, PCOS, endometriosis, and adenomyosis. Doctors want me to be on methotrexate and have a hysterectomy. I don't want either if a diet can fix it.
I totally understand, Sarah. 100% before you have surgery, I would do 90 days of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Okay. And then at the end of that 90 days, if you're like, oh my God, my symptoms are still terrible, go have surgery. Okay. Now, if you're having so much active bleeding that you're in danger of losing your life, then you may need to go ahead and have the surgery. But if this is just symptoms, 90 days of carnivore before you decide on that surgery.
Phil says, serious question. Does nose to tail include testicles? I've heard others talking about eating raw organs, including testicles, also known as mountain oysters.
Yeah,
around here.
Some people eat the testicles, some people don't. I don't know of any essential nutrition in a testicle that you cannot get from some other part of the animal. Typically in the southern United States, we eat either rooster fries, which are rooster testicles, or we'll eat mountain oysters, which are bull nuts. We eat those as kind of a show of manhood. Like, I ain't scared. I'll eat them. Give me a bowl full, But I don't know of any nutrition that cannot be gotten other places on a carnivore diet.
Do what you want.
But hey, you eat those testicles if you want to.
Matt Liss, what's up? 49 years old. I've lost 65 pounds since 1st of October. However, my blood pressure is still 138/83. LDL is high, even though my total cholesterol is normal.
Matt Liss, listen very carefully. Your blood pressure is normal. That is a normal blood pressure. That's not high. Okay. The American Heart Association has a falsely low blood pressure goal. They did that because a huge majority of their sponsorship, their donations come from the pharma manufacturers that make blood pressure pills. Okay. The American Academy of Family Physicians never adopted the AHA position because it's untenable. It's distasteful. It's probably unethical for them to say that because you literally have to put every adult human at some point on a blood pressure pill thus making pharma even richer. 138 over, what was it? 138 over 78?
83.
83? Mm-hmm. Congratulations. That's a normal blood pressure. Carry on.
German says, hey, Doc, MDS
deletion at 5Q.
Go for it.
Can be cured or controlled with keto or carnivore or keto. Bone marrow not responding to treatment. Thanks. Cheers from Mexico. German Suarez, that's a genetic defect. That your carnivore or your keto is going to protect you from many other things as you combat that. But even a proper human diet, as powerful as it is, cannot correct a deletion, a genetic defect. No, it cannot. Sorry. What else you got, woman?
Mark wants to know, is keto carnivore safe for someone with one kidney?
Mark, if you want to keep your one kidney and keep your remaining kidney function, then you want to eat a low carbohydrate diet for the rest of your life. The reason that there's a dialysis clinic on every corner is not because everybody's eating keto and carnivore. It's because they've all been eating too many carbs and too many Cracker Jacks and Lucky Charms and pancakes with syrup. That's what's caused the epidemic of kidney failure. So to protect your kidney, you're going to eat low carb, real, whole, one ingredient foods. Either it grew in the ground or it runs, crawls, flies, or jumps or slithers on the ground. Those are the things you're going to eat. They got one ingredient. You eat them. Even for you, no keto treats, cookies, cakes, pies, bars, shakes, none of that crap. You're going to eat real food that your ancestors would have eaten 100,000 years ago.
Robert says, love you guys. Move to Miami so we can be buds. I'll take you sailing.
Hey, sailing. Take me away.
Sailing, take me away. Do you know NSYNC redid that on their very first album?
That's offensive.
That's how I learned that song. And my mom was
offensive.
like, that's an old song.
Who is it? Christopher Cross? Is that the guy?
I don't know. But that's how I learned
that song is so beautiful. I would go sailing with you.
Strangeosity says, is it safe to fast if I live alone? My mother doesn't want me fasting while living alone. She's afraid I might put myself in a situation where I need someone's help, as if fainting or something.
No, you're safe to fast alone.
You're not gonna fall out.
Yeah,
if you get faint, it's not gonna be that kind, like abrupt fall out on the floor type fainting.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be hungry.
Tell your mom to relax, that you're just gonna intermittent fast. You're not gonna do like 40 days long fast like the Savior did. You're just gonna do a 1 day or 2 day fast. It's perfectly safe. Get Dr. Fung's book about fasting and maybe let your mom look at it. Watch some YouTube videos on my channel. Dr. Jason Fung has great fasting videos that will help ease your mom's mind that you're not going to die if you don't eat every 4 hours.
What is happening in the comments?
Read Ted's right now.
Is it safe to do topless jumping jacks while intermittent fasting?
Yes.
Totally safe.
100%. And I would do it out in the
Outside.
front yard. Is what I would
Absolutely.
always do my topless jumping jacks is in the front yard.
All right, guys. We're in the last few minutes here. Once again, if you want to see what we all eat in a day, head over to Neisha Loves It, my YouTube channel. I'm currently filming one right in this moment. I also have my top ground beef recipes, my meatloaf recipe, my chicken liver recipe. All that's on my YouTube channel.
If you've never been able to eat liver, go to her YouTube channel and watch the video about how she makes chicken liver and do that. Just trust me. Trust Dr. Berry. Do what she says. Make those, and then you'll be like, hey, I freaking love liver. Somebody said, who's this? Phil says, what do you think about Paul Saladino? I think he's a great guy. I've met him several times. I agree with him about a great many things. We disagree about a very few small things. That's what I think about him.
Thank you, Sandy.
Oh, you're 99.7, guys. Only 300 more.
Almost
300 more subs.
okay.
Come on, guys. Please go over and subscribe to Neisha Loves It. Please. Please.
It's a good time, Sally, over there. Robert says, my longest fast for 16 days. Only issue was I was bored.
You miss food, don't you? You're like, damn, I'm just bored. I just want to eat. Odysseus 214 says, is there a way to find out how many carbs your body can take before you're kicked out of ketosis. I stay between 15 and 25, but it seems to kick me out. Yeah, you can check your ketones with a blood stick if you just want to do that. But the best way to do it is to every 3 months have your doctor check a hemoglobin A1C, a C-peptide, and a fasting insulin. And if any of those three are even 1/10 of a point too high, then you're still eating too many carbohydrates for your personal physiology, and you need to cut the carbs in half.
All right, last two questions. Danny, is it possible that fasting for many days could cause hair loss since it can be perceived as stress to your body?
Maybe. If you're doing long 7, 10, 14-day fast, you might lose some hair because you're going to be losing weight like gangbusters. And anytime you lose weight that fast, you're going to have some hair loss, 100%.
Love says, I've been carnivore for 2 weeks. I'm a diabetic on insulin and metformin. Fasting blood sugars were 150 before carnivore, and they've gone up every day since I've started. I was at 300 this morning, and I've gained 7 pounds. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I have no idea, love. Our definition of carnivore and yours might be different, but that's not how the human body works. It doesn't work that way.
300.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Stir 81.
Yeah, smiley face. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I got a question here. Martin Bonner. Sorry, Martin. Will eating too much, he thought he was back in high school again, didn't he? Will eating too much meat.
You just triggered him.
I'm sorry, Martin. I really am. Will eating too much meat in a keto diet be bad? Meat into glycogen equals sugars, numbers going crazy. If you're eating enough fat with your protein, you are not going to initiate anything called gluconeogenesis or glycolysis, where your body's breaking down the glycogen. You need to eat more fat with your protein if you're having that happen.
Heather, I said 2 more questions. We're just going to take 20 more, apparently. What about those that had Precious Castro surgery and have to eat more than 2 times daily?
Yeah. So I think Heather meant gastro surgery, like
yes,
gastric bypass.
Yeah.
So you may have to eat 3 or 4 small meals a day. Heather, was that her name? I think it was Heather. Yeah. But you can still eat those 3 or 4 small meals in a time-restricted window of 6 or 8 hours. So you're still getting a 16 or 18-hour fast every day, right? And you can still make those 3 or 4 small meals very low carb, even 0 carb if you want to, because after gastric bypass surgery, some of you guys don't know, you have literally your stomach is about the size of an egg. Dr. Westman said a hen's egg, and I was in the back, my smart redneck ass. I was thinking, as opposed to a rooster egg, 100%. 100%. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, your stomach's this big around, so you can't eat a big 1 meal a day. That's exactly true, and you don't have to.
Probably meant chicken.
He did mean a chicken egg, but he said a hen's egg in my high school brain.
Phil, I've been trying to quit nicotine, doing Juul. It's very hard. Is this going to ruin my carnivore benefits?
No, but you are going to be harming your body, right? With the vaping. I think vaping is 100 times less dangerous than smoking cigarettes, but it's still not safe. It's still not healthy. So keep weaning that down. You can wean down the percentage of nicotine in your vape. You can increase the amount of time between hits on your vape. There's 100 different strategies, and I think it's much easier to quit vaping than it is to quit smoking cigarettes.
Oh, that's my cue.
Thanks, Jim McKay, for the super chat.
That's my cue.
Everyone, Sheena says, everyone have a great night. I totally agree. Feel free to share this video if you think it will help someone that you care about. Go subscribe to Neisha Loves It. Her YouTube channel, she's almost to 100,000 subscribers. Please go and help this poor country Southern girl get her 100K. Okay.
I'm pregnant, so have pity on me.
Yeah. She's poor and she's pregnant. Have pity. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. And we'll be back next week and we'll do this whole thing again. So join us next week, and we're always going to be talking about something a little crazy, a little funny, and then a lot of nutrition and health in the mix.
If you haven't got enough of us, you can also join Dr. Barry's Patreon group, where we do 3 more lives. So if you
each and every week
really love hearing what his big mouth is going to say,
I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot that.
You can head over. The link is in the description.
Right now we've got 3,000 people on this live, but inside of our protected private Patreon community, we usually have 100, 150, 200 people on
No
the live.
spam, no
spam.
trolling.
Yep.
No
No
weird
meanies.
comments.
No vegans. Well,
Yeah.
maybe a vegan or two, but they're recovering.
They're recovering.
Chad said, I went from 342 pounds to 260 pounds since September of 21. My A1C went from 7.2 to 4.8. Guys, Chad's got it figured out. Chad is not a rocket surgeon or a brain scientist, but he figured this out, and so can you. Okay?
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Say love you.
Love you, Venus.